Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm working on week 9 in my 2023 Project Life album. I wasn't sure what to use this week and I decided to kind of dig back into my stash. I thought a little way, but this is the Cravings mini kit and Printables from Citrus Twist. And when I had a look at it, this was actually from last May, so it's almost a whole year old and it's just been sitting there in my stash. So I'm going to try and use up a little bit more of it today. I don't have a whole lot of the printables kind of left. I know I used a lot of them when I first printed them out. And I know I loved them and I could totally have gone back and printed some more, but my whole point with this is to try to use up some of that stash. And so I'm determined to kind of not print anything extra. I'm just going to try and use what I've got. And I end up with a bit of a hole down the bottom there. This is a new page protector design for me. It's just 9 3x4 cards. So it was a little bit of a kind of, not a struggle, but it was definitely a bit different. I've had like 8 weeks of getting used to one kind of page protector, and now I've kind of swapped that out. So I've gone for kind of combining some cards. So I've used one pattern paper down the bottom on 2 of those slots and kind of made it like a 4x6 rather than 2 3x4s. And also my title card slot is that kind of lavendery paper, and I put it next to another one of those cards that had that kind of lavendery look to it. So kind of color blocking, kind of not, because everything else is a little bit kind of different tones of blue and lavender, but I just didn't have that extra 3x4 card that was going to go down there. I had a couple, I really did want to put some journaling into that spot, and so I really only had one kind of journal card left. It was a very dark kind of tealy green, which is very different to everything else on here, so I decided to just leave it for now, see how the rest of that spread comes together, and then I'll decide what I'm going to put down there. But I was trying to just find a solution that didn't involve reprinting anything. Now, I also don't have any of the alphas that were in this kit. I don't have any of them left, so I've pulled out some other little white puffy sticker alphas from my stash, and I'm going to use the Madison, I think it's the Madison Alpha stamps to stamp my week title, because this is probably one of the only weeks that I'll be able to do this, the word number 9, because I don't have numerals for this particular alpha. And so 9 actually fit perfectly vertically though, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to stamp it down the vertical edge of my 3x4 card. So I'm just using some black ink. There's a lot of black in that photo. It's kind of in my photos, it's kind of like a highlight color in there. So I'm stamping in black, and then I'm going to use those little white alphas alongside it. Now, I hadn't actually intended on not date stamping this one. Obviously, there are a heap of places that I could do it. I just forgot, to be honest, until I've actually seen here now editing this video that I didn't put them in. I'm not going to rush back in to pull the cards out of the pocket to put the date stamp on there. I'll just make sure that I do it in the next week. I'm kind of okay with it being every second week, because then you can kind of get the dates from the previous spread each time. So I'm not too worried about it, but yeah, it wasn't a purposeful decision. I just literally forgot to do it. It's one of those things now that I've kind of broken this 10-year routine of doing Project Life and changing it up a little bit. I honestly just sometimes forget these things. So this is this kind of fake 4x6 down the bottom here. It was one of the Traveler's Notebook pattern papers that I had printed out. So it gives me enough room to kind of trim that down into a 4x6, and then I just cut it in half. I added that die cut, wanting more of this, breakfast out with my husband and coffee, obviously. But one of the things I really liked about adding that little die cut down there, and why I've decided to not add anything else into it, is it kind of pulls down some of those cooler tones. Like at the moment, it's almost this really loose ombre of color in this spread. Like it's sort of goes from the very pink purples through to more of an indigo-y purple. Well, it's definitely not indigo, but you know, a bluer toned purple color, and then using that kind of sunset, it's actually a sunrise, sorry, photo as a basis, and then the yellows at the bottom. So I'm kind of replicating that sunrise photo down there, but it did just pull some of that blue by putting that die cut piece down the bottom. Now I did pull out a bunch of the die cut pieces, and I'm only going to add 2 of them, and so I've kind of done the opposite to that at the top. I've added a little piece of that golden yellow into that very blue photo of my bagel up there, and so just kind of reversing those things so it's not too themey as far as color scheme goes. Now I added a few stamps from the actual Cravings 6x8 stamp set as well, just a couple, nothing but blue skies. That worked perfectly on my sunrise, and yes please me time at the top on my little crafting photo. Then I went back through my Citrus Twist stash, found a really plain journaling card. It says Weekend Therapy, so it works perfectly with my little breakfast story there. I'm not journaling about the entire week. I'm only journaling about that one particular story or those 2 photos. And that's it. That's the page all done. I really loved this one. It was definitely not what I intended, but I'm so happy to have used up a little bit more of my stash. Hey, thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to leave a couple videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye!